Hey guys, I'll just start out with maybe a few thoughts on the top of, not prepared certainly, but on the top of my mind, and answer the questions that you have to the best of my ability. I think our general tone when we met with the players this morning was we really can't answer the questions that thoroughly because we don't have that many answers right now, but I'll do my best. Um, Yesterday afternoon, kind of a surreal moment for me. The game against the junior national team ended. Charlie, Ross, and I were in Charlie's office watching our game in Bradenton. And, it was, as it's been most of this spring, it was fun watching our guys play. And I had a moment where, selfishly, I was pretty sad. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Like, there's great things happening. I want to continue to watch these guys play. And I love baseball, Like, that's why I'm doing this. I love the game of baseball, and I don't want to stop watching the game. Caught myself about 30 seconds into that thinking about the broader challenges that we're facing as a society and the demands that leadership have and our role in that as an industry, as a team, and as individuals, and immediately shifted back to what we need to do. Flashing forward to this morning, Ross and I met with the team and our coaches prior to that. And our singular goal, other than being supportive and doing the best we could to communicate to them, was to help them understand the gravity of what we're facing and the importance of our roles as leaders in ensuring we do the best we can to help and not hurt, the dilemma that we're facing as a society and as a community. And most importantly, that obviously is not fostering crowds, not fostering mass gatherings. So the easiest thing we can do is understand and support that we're not playing baseball in front of our fans. Secondarily, there are a number of things that we need to work through as an organization and a game. Those things will be dealt with over the next 72 hours. I can tell you that as we think about planning, we're thinking about digestible periods of time. The next 72 hours is really what we're communicating right now, and all I'm here to communicate about, and that is to get more clarity as the commissioner and the PA meet and understand and navigate the implications on a business moving forward. We're just trying to do the best we can to educate and support our players and our staff, as well as provide a safe environment. We already did that for our fans by not playing. Now we're doing that for our staff and players. We are obviously giving some thought to the longer term, but that's not what I'm here to talk about today, because I just don't have clarity to what the long term represents. In the immediate term, our players have off tomorrow. We're not going to open the building. Sunday, we have an optional workout in the morning. And then Monday, we plan to meet with our players again once we have more information, Monday, midday. And at that point, we'll have greater clarity as to what time ahead looks like for them and for us. But that's all we're dealing with right now is the next 72 hours. And the concerns that we have are far greater than the Blue Jays. They're more focused on our community and broader mankind, as we're all kind of dealing with the uncertainty that lies ahead and doing the best we can to navigate through this challenge. So that's all I have from a formal perspective. I'm happy to do my best to answer your questions, but again, I don't have many answers beyond what I just told you.
Mark, have you guys tested players?
No, we walk through a series of protocol with anyone that does present with any symptoms whatsoever. I think Tanner Roark's the best example of that, and it was clear that he had, strain 1 flu virus and not COVID. And but anyone, I think one of the things we left them with this morning, Jeff, and I think this is probably most important, and the only way to really make it less abstract and more real is to think about their mothers, think about their fathers, think about their grandparents, think about kids that have compromised immune systems. And there's an obligation that when they feel symptoms, regardless of a dry cough or a sore throat, that they communicate immediately with Jose and our training staff and our medical staff, and then we walk down the protocol. Once you get down to a certain point, testing becomes an option, but there's obviously a scarcity of tests now, so there's not quick testing going on. We're just a segment of the population. we're not getting to that point. We have not gotten to that point with any of our players.
So Mark, one of the organizations gave their players an option, 48 hours to decide whether they wanted to go home and be with their families or stay home. Is that an option for these guys? You said you have a meeting on Monday, so were they free to kind of go with their families and go out of state?
Well, I gave you where the schedule is. That was arrived at with our players.
Mark, what was I guess, the mood or the reaction from the players that you saw? Obviously, it's a new thing for all of us, but
Yeah.
how are they reacting?
I mean, I'm hesitant to speak for our players. I can tell you a couple of them that spoke to Ross or me afterwards. I think it's a matter of a gradual shift on what this means to me, and the game and my well-being and my family and what the implications could be. But I think as they start to shift and think about, I don't want to be the person that's responsible for my teammate's grandmother getting sick, my teammate's father getting sick, child, there is a greater understanding of what we're facing. It makes it a little less abstract. We obviously sit here and it's like the eye of the hurricane's looming in the distance, but hasn't actually hit here yet. So it's hard for them as young people to kind of think about, anything, what it means to them today or tomorrow. But I think that the stakes are real and more clear to them now, hopefully partially just because of the extreme nature of we're postponing, the season. And hopefully we were able to talk those things through this morning and give some more background and reasons for that.
Beyond players, you guys obviously employ hundreds of people.
Yes.
What are you doing as far as staff, whether that's scouts, trainers, development?
Yeah.
What's it like?
So the hardest thing, Ben, is that it's not, staff is such a diverse word for us, right? We've got a large number of people in Toronto. We've got a large operation in Florida. We've got a remote staff throughout North America and Latin America that are scouting. And we have taken similar but different approaches due to the nature of all those different bases of operation. As time has passed, it's become more similar, which is, we are not having our scouts fly. Our scouts are, if they're driving, but there's less and less baseball for scouts to see, even high school and college baseball. We're encouraging to starting to push all staff to work from home. We're minimizing numbers of staff that are congregating in large areas. I think we'll have a much better idea after Monday. The universal nature is to be safe, do the things that can minimize the spread, from washing your hands, not touching your face, to recognizing symptoms and reacting to those symptoms right away, to encouraging as many people as possible to not come into the office and work from home. Did I do that?
Just jumping off Ben's, there's also the element of event staff that work at your stadium who maybe are relying on those paychecks to start the year. Obviously, again, it's still so early in
Yeah.
this situation, but is there any thought on some sort of program for helping people that do rely on the events that you guys do from?
Yeah, so I think when we start to get to I've told you we are dealing with a host of issues and dealing with the immediate issues right now. As we start to get to the things that come after Monday and secondary and tertiary things, their welfare is certainly one of the things we're dealing with. But as of right now, we're dealing with the immediacy of how do we manage through the next 72 hours.
Mark, as of right now, is there any concerns with being a Canadian club, like crossing the border or travel-wise?
It's not something that, again, I think we're very aware we're a Canadian club. And beyond the pride of that, we haven't felt that that's an issue that we need to deal with right now.
Are the plans for the minor leaguers the same as the baseball?
For right now, they are. Yeah, for right now, we're mirroring the Major League schedule, but we're likely to take a different approach to that after Monday.
Mark, when Major League Baseball announced it has 2 weeks postponed to opening day, that's pretty clear that's a hope and an aspiration. That was not based on.
I think it's just trying to make things in manageable, digestible bites, and knowing that we'll have to reevaluate as we go. And for right now, that's the scenario we're dealing with. But I can't speak to everything that went into that. I'm the wrong person for that.
Mark, the fact that baseball organizations employ a lot of people, tons of players from the minor league system, scouts and all that, does that in some ways make it harder? Been in the game for a long time. Does it make it kind of harder to plan for mass events? Because it's not a 20-person NBA team or whatever.
Yeah.
It's,
I think the what's been difficult for me initially has gotten easier as things have gotten more, more real and serious of late, have been, as we began to plan, like we've got this large group of people in Toronto that are largely staffing an event, running a business. We've got a baseball operation that's large scale down here with a lot of players and a lot of staff that support those players in spaces that are very tough to manage an issue like this. And then we've got a remote group of staff that are out scouting and flying and traveling, which is also a risk. And then most importantly, we have fans. So when you start to talk about safety for a broad group of stakeholders, and staff, you're trying to think on multiple levels of what's the best way to protect, and care for all those segments. That got a lot easier to think about, with the actions that Major League Baseball took yesterday. It's simpler now, Jeff. It was harder when we were thinking about preventive and what are we doing to kind of, guard around that, but it's a little easier right now.
One more question.
Mark, you hold a couple international players in Munster in the summer club and family and their players. And how do you treat them and how do you treat them?
I think the same way that we're treating every player. If there's any player that has concerns over family, that thinks that being here is not the right place to be, we're supportive of them leaving and being with their family. We were cognizant coming in that we have international players that are coming from areas that have already been impacted. That's just a window into how everyone here is going to be impacted as well. So again, being supportive is what we're trying to do. Communicating is the second piece, but we do consider our players and our staff to be a large family. And so we're doing the best we can just to maintain the level of communication and the understanding and the level of support as best as we possibly can through uncertainty. And this is a lot of uncertainty.
Thank you, Mark.
Okay, thanks. Be safe.